The design here calls for an entertaining area which is to be paved and is to be surrounded by a limestone wall at seating height. And our gCADPlus user has asked for some help. He would like to use an actual size paving bricks. If we select it, what's been done thus far is to simply hatch that area. One other approach is to make a block, which I've called 500mm square paver, and then go to modify and pick the array command. And if we set up a rectangular array, 7 rows, 7 columns, each block is accurately set to 500 by 500, and we can say, okay, let's make that rectangular array, and very quickly massive paving bricks is placed. The next step might be to draw a circle. We'll choose center and diameter, and we'll zoom in here and approximately pick the central paver and pull out and give that an appropriate diameter. We want something like 3350, and enter. That gives us our central area. We could make it a little larger if you wanted to. Well, let's measure the diameter of the wall, the width, if you like, of the wall, and that's 350. So now we'd use modify and offset, pick that circle we've just placed, offset distance can be 350, and just indicate the side that we want to go and exit from there. It is probably not necessary, but at this stage I think I would remove any of the paving bricks that are outside that central area and hidden by the wall, so they're now gone. Well, the next step might be to provide some geometry to do some cutting in that area for the entrance to the entertaining area. So we'll copy and we'll pick up, say, that end point there and move it into an appropriate position, and polar is on, so there's pretty much what we're after, I think. Well, that now gives us a cutting edge in 2 of them. Pick those and then modify and trim. Sorry, we didn't need to pick them first, pick them now, and we can trim off that part of the circle. And similarly, now we can just use a line from the end of that point there to the end of the arc here, and we want another line, or possibly an arc. I think an arc might be better, so we'll draw an arc. We'll use a 3-point arc. We'll start at that point there, the midpoint of the arc could be there, and the end point of the arc like so. Now when we select the trimmed outer zone and the trimmed inner zone, we can now join those. Once they're joined, we can fill that and it becomes the wall. So we'll pick a colour appropriate for limestone, and then we'll apply a fill. We'll close it and apply a fill, and it will sit on the top. So we are developing a very similar shape to that which we saw here, and we now just need to mask this area effectively. Well, I'm not quite sure what the intention is here, but there's a zone through there. I do need to know its width, so if I use nearest and then perpendicular, I'd like to know the width of that, because that's 306. So I think if we use the modify and offset and pick that arc through there and offset it by 300, we should be fine, and then offset this one also by 300, Well, we now need to mask that entrance to the entertaining space. I'd be inclined to turn on Object Snap and have it run at nearest. Then I'd be inclined to use the polyline command, and I just want a closed shape, and I'm going to fill with white, so I can start here, run around there to there. The nearest option is sticking nice and close to where I want to be. I'll stop about there, come over here, there, and to here, and then close it. We can then select that new polyline, apply white on white, which will make it opaque, put a fill on, and unselect all. We've done reasonably well, but I think we just need to bring these two lines here using tools and draw order and bring them to the front. So we're done. Well, all that remains is to get the quantities. So it's gCADPlus. They're all blocks in that area, so it's extract block data from an area. So I'll just put a box around those. That will pick up all of the pavers that are, including the ones under the raised seating area, and hit enter, and we can save a file, pavers, and we'll overwrite the existing one. We'll swing to our copy of Excel. We'll start a blank workbook, pick the data tab, and from a CSV we'll pick our pavers CSV file, comma separated file. This gives us a preview of what our data will look like when we load it, and so we should get a complete list of all the pavers that are going to be used in this design. We need 45 of them. So I hope that shows that you can combine blocks and design work and get some valuable information for your construction team. Well, of course you don't need to go to that extreme. I've cleaned up a little, and you don't really need to use Excel unless you want to. Pick that zone and just filter the list here. There are 45 blocks in that area, and just jot that down.